I like to think that I've seen a lot of horror movies, probably well more than most people have. But the truth is that apparently there's some really great gems out there that I haven't gotten to yet. And that was the case with the Plaga Zombie series. I had heard of these, but never come around to just putting them on. So I finally checked them out, and holy crap, how have I not watched these like 500 times yet? This is a really fun series, but does it have any continuity? Guess I'll have to polish up my Espanol to find out. The outbreak begins in Argentina back in 1997 with Plaga Zombie, which translates to zombie plague. The opening gives us a guy getting attacked in an alleyway and is rescued by what turns out to be a ghoul. There's then a couple of college friends, and one night, one is mysteriously affected by a strange noise and is then abducted by aliens who experiment on him. There's then this wrestler named John, and he wants to get back into it, but his old partner wants to move past it. Those alien probes take effect with Mike, and Willie's sickness increases, and they soon rise up as the undead. But it's not just those two, since there's mobs of zombies outside attacking everyone in sight. And John teams up with Doc and the brainy Max, and they use makeup to disguise themselves as zombies. But it doesn't work, since this one pukes it off of him. But luckily, a defibrillator seems to work pretty well. And then there's a series of battles with the Horde just to try to escape the house. Max seems to get lawnmowered, and shenanigans ensue, including a full-on wrestling match between John and this vaguely surfer dude-looking guy. Doc devises a serum that will kill them, and is this like some sort of lead-in to Plants vs. Zombies or something? Turns out that Max is still kicking, and there's a massive brawl in the backyard that the boys seem to be winning until that darn alien noise kicks in again. Max is killed, and John is zombified, and some government guys show up to kill him and takes Doc into custody, but it looks like one is an alien in disguise. Now, there's no visible date, but all the technology that we see seems late 90s, so I think real-time 1997 is fine. So that did quite well, and keep in mind that reportedly the first film was made for $120, and 4 years later a new chapter arrived with 2001's Plaga Zombie Zona Mutante, or Mutant Zone. We start with that same government agent from the ending of the last one, and they ask about the mission in Kaiharo, referencing the film Bad Taste, and then say that aliens have tested a virus in a populated area, and were meant to keep the effects contained. But it spread to the whole town. And we're also told that, yep, Max escaped death once again and is in a coma, and Bill, or Doc, was captured, and I guess John is still alive and no longer a zombie. And they have no choice but to release them back into the infected town. Bill is still covered in blood, so I'm guessing this is meant to be right after the last one, so we're potentially still in 97. There's a truck with a 93 on the license plate, but I'm not sure how that all works in Argentina, and I doubt that it's 93. But yeah, John's back, human again. Next, Max is back, awake and alive, and yep, there's still zombies about, and the brawling begins. They're given another bag, and John says it's 30 hours since he's last slept, hinting that this is just a day after the last movie. There's actually a bit of graffiti up on a wall here that says 98, so I guess it's possible that we're actually beyond that. They find an injured FBI agent, and he tags along but gets eaten, and they discover that they're trapped in the city. They try to decode a disc they got from the FBI guy, and there's a Savage Dragon comic book here, and it's the crossover with the Ninja Turtles, and that's also from 93, so that's weird that there's two references to 1993 here. There's more zombie fights, and just when it looks like they're surrounded, there's that alien sound again, and it mesmerizes all of the undead. They take refuge at John's house, and then finally open up that other bag, and there's a person in there, and it's Max, but without all the injuries, which makes Max 1 a little crazy. Shortly after, they find Max 2 eaten, and zombies get in, and they chomp on Max 1, but I have a feeling he ain't dead. Again. They get captured, and we see files for the boys saying that Bill is 23 years old and John is 26, and that federal agent from the beginning is here. And a fight ensues, which lets the boys escape, but then the zombies capture them, and instead of eating them, they take them to their leader, who is, Max. He's replaced his arm with a zombie arm and has a grudge against John for not saving him, but they're rescued by a group of surviving humans. John and Max duke it out, leading to everyone arguing, but John pulls everyone together to try to find the source of their problems and fight back. Turns out the rebels and zombies all killed each other, and just when John is about to reveal how he came back to life, one of the zombos bursts open into an alien. And then they all start to, and the boys prepare to fight, ending on a cliffhanger. There's then a post-credit scene taking place 5 years later with John and a zombie, and there's a calendar, but it's impossible to see. But if we say that the main action took place in 1997, right after the first one, then this post-credit scene, I guess, is 2002. It took a whopping 10 years for another installment, and it wasn't until 2011 that we got Plaga Zombie Zona Mutante Revolution Toxica. It starts with someone playing Virtual Boy, which came out in 1995, so we may still be in the same time frame. And then the news talks about the outbreak from the other movies and saying it's breaking, and they say it's 48 hours after the initial outbreak. So it seems like we're set right after the last one. So it's still 97, and they say that the zombies are headed east. They confirm that there are 3 survivors, Bill, Max, and John, and they're still at large. The agent guy is back, giving a warning message to the world, and the ghouls attack. Then we see that Agent Dana is now one of them, and the boys are back, being chased by a UFO. John gets blasted, which basically cuts him down to half his size, I suppose a way to explain the actor's real-life weight loss and the huge gap between films.
Pareces otra persona.
They realized that they were never fighting zombies at all, and the corpses were just cocoons for the aliens within. And then we get what we've been looking for. A calendar on the wall letting us know that it's 1997. July, to be exact, with the first movie taking place on the 21st, the second on the 22nd, and now we're on to the 23rd, giving us a pretty solid timeline for these 3 films. Max determines that the aliens will take over in 48 days if they don't do something, and they head out to destroy the alien ship and split up, each encountering their own sets of trouble, as John has lost his fighting mojo, and Bill encounters an FBI agent who reveals that other agents are robot intruders. Max is trying to find a zombie to stuff with bombs as a Trojan zombie and comes across a computer, and when it boots up, the screen says 06, but we'll let that slide. And then John encounters Willie, his old partner, who we haven't seen since the beginning of the first film. Eventually, John gets his mojo back. Bill finds the ship, and Max gets his Trojan zombie. But then a stampede comes at them, but they don't attack, instead just running past as the zombies head to be harvested by the ship. But first, a musical number.
Plaga Zombie. Plaga Zombie.
There's a huge battle that leads to all the zombies hatching out and getting harvested, including the Trojan zombie, but it pulls Max up with it. The ship then explodes and the day is saved with Max seemingly dead again. But then, when the robot agent attacks, Max falls from the sky to crush it, and they saved the world. But then, once again, we flash to 5 years later, 2002 again, and Max has made a musical of the events, and again we see a new invasion begin. There was another 10-year gap, and it wasn't until 2021 that we saw the 4th entry, Plaga Zombie American Invasion. There's an iPhone, so we're out of 97, and a ship is pulling people up, and those aliens are up to their old tricks again. And a voiceover, in English for the first time, tells us of an invasion 20 years ago to this day, talking about the first trilogy, which puts this in 2017 then. And we get a couple in a car, and he gives her a necklace, and their names are Nash and Glenda.
I love it, Nash.
Get it? There's zombies, of course, and we meet a wrestler named Sammy, who's a bit down on his luck, and his wife leaves him, and he worships John West. There's also Manny here, Sam's landlord, and Bill watches the news and sees Bill talking about the invasion back in '97 and says they covered it up, and he's trying to tell the world. Outside, the outbreak is in full swing, and Sam and Manny start fighting, with Sam getting a pep talk from an imaginary John West. Turns out that Nash from the intro is Sam's neighbor, and the three head out to escape the city, while the government plans on sinking the whole town into the sea and succeed on separating them from the mainland. They get separated, and Nash encounters a mysterious man who is fighting a robot that ends up chasing them, and it turns out that Cobra is working for Max. He's been tracking the alien this entire time and knew where they would strike next, and they have their own adventures. Sam has a big wrestling moment, Manny has a musical interlude,
Plaga zombie, plaga zombie, plaga zombie. Plaga zombie, plaga zombie, plaga zombie. Plaga zombie, plaga zombie, plaga zombie.
and Nash is betrayed by Cobra. Eventually, the aliens hatch out, and there's a big face-off, ending the movie on a cliffhanger. It then does the whole 5 years later thing, so I guess in 2022, and Cobra is working a soup kitchen and faces down a zombie agent, and then an outbreak. So there you have it, 4 movies with a pretty concise timeline. The first 3 movies all take place within days of each other, and the 4th movie takes place 20 years later. And that one is, not really connected. It's different people, different filmmakers, a whole different crew. And yeah, these were great. I really, really, really enjoyed the first 3. The 4th one was just kind of all right. I could do without the 4th one, but the first 3 were just so much fun. When I was watching the first movie, I felt like I did when I was watching like Bad Taste for the first time, or like Evil Dead 2 for the first time. It was just like, whoa, these guys are really going over the top with the creativity to make up for the fact that they don't have any money. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I really recommend checking these out if you get a chance. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've seen these and liked them yourself. Tell me that down below in the comments. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. If you enjoy what you see on this channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified when new videos are released. And you can also go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/movietimelines, where you can help support this channel. These guys do, and I appreciate that. And also, you can just keep coming back and watching more videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you very shortly for another one. Bye-bye.